What's up, guys? Welcome to G Whiskey. I'm Jeff. This is a channel where I have my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and every once in a while I'll throw in other whiskey-related content. Today, I've got a list for you guys. I want to go over 7 whiskeys that I really want to try in 2024. So, it should be fun. Stick around. All right, so today it's 7 whiskeys that I really need to try in 2024, and when I use the word need, that implies that there's some stakes involved, there's a sense of urgency, that something bad will happen if I don't have these whiskeys. That's not true. But if I say 7 whiskeys that I'd quite like to try this year, that just doesn't have the same ring to it, and us YouTubers, we love to ham it up.
All hail the algorithm.
Now, for this list, the whiskeys don't need to be like brand new. They might have come out this year, they might have come out last year. Some of them are not even out yet. The premise is just, it's stuff I want to try. And yeah, that's pretty much the idea behind the whole video. Also, stay tuned after the list. I've got the 7 main whiskeys I want to try. There is a bonus bottle at the end that I didn't include on the list, and I didn't include that bottle just because it's stupid. So stay tuned for that bottle after the list, and after that, of course, you guys know I need to have my mystery pour. Your hint for this one is, this is an 18-year-old whiskey from one of my all-time favorite coastal distilleries, and it happens to be an American exclusive. So good luck with your guessing. Let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into our list. In the meantime, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so starting our list off at number 7 is a whiskey that came out last year, and this one is available. It's around. In fact, it's at the shop just down the road from here, and I could buy it if I wanted to, but I'm not convinced it'll be worth the money. This one is Roseisle 12. This is the first formal release from the Roseisle distillery, even though it's a full 12 years old, so Diageo has been sitting on this one for a while. It is a Diageo product, and this release came out with last year's special releases from Diageo, the 2023 selection, and I'm very curious about it. Now, these whiskeys always stir up a little bit of controversy just because they have such a unique look and because they tend to be quite expensive, but this also being the first release from Roseisle means people are getting excited about it, and that hype works. I mean, I'm talking about it and I do want to try it. However, even though I do hear mixed things about it, for the most part, people do say it's good. Not everyone is convinced that it's worth the $125 price tag, and I'm not convinced that for a cask strength 12-year-old, I'm ready to shell out that much unless I know it's going to be something special. Now, it might be, and I'm still kind of curious, but I just haven't decided yet. So actually, let me put the question out to you guys. Who among you have tried this one? What did you think about it? Was it worth the money? I'm very curious, and again, I might pick it up, but I don't know yet. This one comes in at number 7, Roseisle 12. At number 6 is a whiskey that came out quite recently, and I only heard about it, like 2 weeks ago, but it definitely got me interested right out the gate. This one is the Torabhaig Cnoc Moine, I think. You guys know I love these Gaelic names. If you guys know how to pronounce that properly, you can let me know down below as usual. But yeah, Torabhaig. Torabhaig is a pretty new distillery. They only got started distilling, I think, in 2017, something like that. And they're doing great so far. This bottle is their 3rd release in the Legacy series, and it's the first bottle they put out with a touch of sherry in it. Now, I didn't try their first release, their inaugural release. I did try the second one, though. That one was called the Alt Glean, I believe it's called. And that one was very honest, very flavorful, and very delicious stuff. They actually put out a cask strength version of that one last year. I did not try it, but I would very much like to, just as I would very much like to try this new release with a touch of sherry in it. Now, I actually have no idea how well sherry will work with the Torabhaig distillate, but so far the brand has impressed me, and of course I say that having tried literally one thing from them, but it was very good, and this one has me curious. So it comes in at number 6, Torabhaig, correct pronunciation. All right, next up at number 5, we've got something that's very trendy right now, and that is the Ardtalla 5. Ardtalla is owned by Hunter Lang & Co., which is an IB brand, and they are the latest new distillery on Islay, and it's the first new distillery we've had on Islay since Kilchoman back in, what was that, like 2007? No, it was not. It was 2005. Anyway, Ardtalla only started distilling back in 2018, and this one is their first wide release. It came out, I don't know, like a month ago, and it immediately blew up the whiskey internet. Jeff Whiskey posted this on his Instagram, and it is accurate. So far, this is getting very good reviews. A lot of people seem to be pretty impressed with this one. Whiskey Base definitely is. So if you're a peathead or if you're into Islay stuff, this is definitely something that should be on your radar. Personally, I'm very excited to try this one. It's not available in my market yet, but it's definitely something I'll be grabbing up the moment I come across it. So it comes in at number 5, Ardtalla 5. Coming in at number 4, we've got a release that I'm both curious and kind of angry about, and that is the Kilchoman 16. Now, Kilchoman is a brand that I love, and they do have great transparency. They have a lot of whiskeys out on the market that indirectly do tell you the age, but they've never given us like a formally age-stated whiskey until now. Or until last year, I should say. This one came out last year in 2023, and right away, a lot of people got very excited about this one, myself included, until they saw the price. This one sold for over £200 in the UK and roughly equivalent to that in other markets. It was not cheap anywhere you looked, and for a 16-year-old at 50%, that's, well, it's high. Like, I really do want to try this one, but I have to be careful with my money. Of course, I buy a lot of whiskey for the channel, so my budget is understandably kind of tight, and I want to make sure that with every purchase, I'm getting my money's worth, and I'm just not sure that'll be the case for this one. Like I said, 50%, that's a good ABV. This is bourbon and Oloroso sherry matured. Sounds great. Kilchoman is a brand that rarely lets me down. I'm sure this is excellent, but it's a tough price tag to justify. Still very curious though. Comes in at number 4, Kilchoman 16. Okay, so we made it into the top 3, and for number 3, I've actually got a pair of whiskeys. It's these 2 whiskeys right here, a couple of Scapas. But I mean, I guess that's not fair. I'm sure to start with the 16, so let's just say the 16. This is Scapa's first new release in a very long time. Scapa as a brand has kind of like a checkered past, but I don't know. I got a feeling about these ones. Now, Scapa did used to have a 16-year-old on the market. This is way, way, way back. That one was 40%. A lot of people nowadays will tell you they loved it. I think nostalgia might be a factor there. I remember trying it and liking it, but it didn't blow me away. It was decent. But since then, they've only had a couple of low ABV, honestly low effort, no age stated whiskeys. This is what they looked like. I tried one. I was genuinely unimpressed. So this is a new beginning for them for sure. Interesting that there's no 12-year-old, at least not in what we've seen from them so far. Just a 16 and a 21. But yeah, we have good age statements. We have good ABVs. So Scapa's coming out swinging here. Seems like they want to play with the big boys again, which is nice to see. They've been kind of radio silent for a very long time. Scapa, for those of you who don't know, is the only other distillery on Orkney, next to the much more famous and much more prolific Highland Park. Now, Scapa has a very coastal profile, which happens to be my favorite kind of profile. As I said, good ABVs on this one, so it does seem like they're going in a craft direction, which is something to get excited about. My only hope is that they don't go in the Kilchoman direction and overcharge for a 16-year-old. I hope these are reasonably priced and accessible. And if they are, then I will be very excited to try them. I definitely will be grabbing them. I don't know when these bottles are going to drop. I have no idea what the prices are going to be, but somehow I'm still very excited about these ones. So it comes in at number 3, Scapa 16. Next up, we've got a whiskey that came out relatively recently, a few months back, and this is something that I would obviously be very interested in because it's from one of my all-time favorite distilleries. This one is the Bruichladdich 18-year-old. Now, Bruichladdich has a very interesting and characterful distillate. I absolutely love the classic laddie. That one was my whiskey of the year back in 2022. So you give that an age statement and I'm there. In fact, in my little whiskey vault over there, I've got a Bruichladdich 16 or a Laddie 16 stashed away, and that's something I definitely plan on opening at some point. So if I manage to get my hands on the Bruichladdich 18, I think a 16 and an 18-year-old side-by-side would be really fun to do. So that's something to look forward to if I get my hands on the Bruichladdich 18. Unfortunately, that one's not sold in my market just yet, but when it gets here, hopefully the price will be reasonable because I really want to try it. But yeah, not much else to say. Great brand, one of my favorites. Of course, with the age statement, it's got me very curious. Like I said, this one's been out for 2 or 3 months now, so a lot of people have had the chance to try it. If you're one of those people, you can let me know your thoughts on it. Does it taste good? How would you score it? Is it worth the money? Let me know all of that. But yeah, Bruichladdich 18, really, really interesting one. Comes in at number 2. Number 1 is the other Bruichladdich 18. This one is the Port Charlotte 18. Now, of course, Port Charlotte is Bruichladdich peated line, and they have some of the best peated whiskey in the whiskey industry. And personally speaking, I prefer older peat with a nice age statement. You get a more complex, rounded, more sophisticated whiskey. Now, of course, I love my young, biting peat monsters. They're much more raw, they're much louder, but that sophistication you get with older peat, it's something special. So if you've got a peated whiskey on the level of Port Charlotte and you give it 18 years in casks, not to mention, I think Port Charlotte, Bruichladdich have some of the best cask play in the game. Of course, that's something I'm going to get very excited about. Again, this one has been out for a few months now, so if you've had it, let me know your thoughts on it down below. I have yet to see it come to my market. When it gets here, I'll definitely be buying it. I'm hoping that it's not too expensive. That said, if there's anything out there, any whiskey out there that's likely to convince me to pay up, it's a well-aged Port Charlotte. That sounds so cool. Can't wait to try it. It's number 1, Port Charlotte 18. Okay, so that is our formal list all done. But like I said earlier, there is a bonus bottle on this list. I didn't include it on the proper list because, as I said, it's stupid. This is the bottle. This is called the Captain's Table. It's a Star Trek themed whiskey. And what it is, it's actually an 8-year-old bourbon whiskey, at least this batch. They've done a couple batches so far. This one is batch 3. 8-year-old bourbon, super expensive. Like, this is horribly overpriced. I think it's somewhere around 350 bucks. Not only that, you have to get on a waiting list just in order to be able to buy it at all. And then you have to buy it within the States. So I have to ask my friends in the States if I can ship it to them. It's a headache, and it's definitely not worth it. Very stupid. However, the box lights up. Also, look at that Starfleet Delta. That is so cool. If I bought this, I wouldn't open it. I wouldn't even drink it. I would just put it in the middle of my living room behind a glass case for everyone to see. Just sitting there, safeguarding my virginity. And I know that sounds very sad, but don't worry about me. I'll kiss a girl someday. My mom says I'm very handsome. Anyway, I told you it was dumb, but I really, really want it, and I would sacrifice my firstborn child for this bottle. So it comes in as a bonus bottle. This one is the Captain's Table by the Star Trek distillery. Okay, so that was the list, guys. Let me know what you think about it, and also let me know if you've tried any of the bottles that we just talked about. I want to know if they're worth it. As I said, I have to be a bit frugal when it comes to my spending just because I buy a lot of stuff, so I really do want to know what's worth it. So I'm looking forward to reading your thoughts on those whiskeys down below, and of course, I also want to hear what your list is. What are some whiskeys that you have yet to try that you're really looking forward to in 2024? Finally, if you stuck around to find out what my mystery pour in the glass is here, this whiskey was a unicorn for me. I could not find it up until very, very recently. This, as I mentioned, is an older whiskey. It's from a coastal distillery, one of my favorite distilleries. This is Oban 18. Now, this one is not a new release, but it is something that I was very desperate to try up until recently. This is an American exclusive. Luckily, I had a buddy visiting from the States about a month ago. He brought one over. Tim, thank you very much. Very interesting stuff. So yeah, Oban 18, really interesting stuff. And that, guys, brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to help out the channel, if you want to help keep me independent and financially sustainable, I've got both Patreon and PayPal linked down below. And I guess we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.